This chapter has a lot of different formulas that we're working with. And we're going to introduce another one. Altogether, there's 5 formulas. So today we're going to start working with the third formula. So in 2020, Mrs. Pike purchased a house for $210,000. The value of the home, circle this word, this is important, it increases at a rate of 4%. What will the value of her home be in 2030? All right, so because it's increasing, this is the formula we're working with. Increases, we use addition. So the home that she bought is $210,000. So that would be my P value. And the interest rate is 4%. So that would be 1 plus, take 4 divided by 100, and that gives you 0.04. We want to know what the value of her home would be in the year 2030. So how would I figure out how many years passed between 2030 and 2020? What do you think I'm going to do with those numbers? Any ideas? From 2030 to 2020. How would I figure out how many years passed? What'd you say, Sarah? Subtract. Yep. So what's 2030 minus 2020? 10. So T is 10. Go ahead and type this in your calculator. Type it in just like this. And if you type it in right, I'm going to tell you what answer you should get, and you can compare that number in your calculator. That should be your final answer. Jaden,
Yeah.
put your calculator away.
So,
Put it under your desk. Don't get this calculator. Okay, who got that answer? All right, let's go to page 10 in our note packet. So this is our third formula. Our third formula for compound interest. And now we're introducing a new N value. A new value, which is N, I should say. All right, so A, just like in the old formula, A is your ending amount. P is your starting amount. R is your rate. T is time. The new value that we're talking about, N, is compound frequency. All right, so let's talk about what these N values could be. So off to the right, we'll write our possible. What are some numbers that we can use for N? All right, so first is if it says annually, that means that N is 1. If it says semi-annually, Semi, that prefix semi means half. So how many halves do we have in a whole? We have 2. So that means we use the number 2. If it says it's compounded quarterly, does anyone know how many quarters are in a year? Same as the number of quarters in a dollar. How many quarters are in a dollar? 4. Correct. And then we have monthly. How many months do we have in a year? 12. Then we have weekly. This is the hard one. Does anybody know how many weeks are in a year? $52 weeks. And lastly, daily. Does anyone know how many days are in a year? 365. So these are the possible numbers that we're going to use as we practice working with this new formula. So Babacar, you have these written down for your homework? All right, any questions? Okay, well, let's get started. Let's look at number 1. It says Laura invests $4,800. That's her starting amount. That's how much she invests. So that's P. At an interest rate of 4.5%. So R would be 4.5 divided by 100. So take 4.5 and divide it by 100 in your calculator. So what's 4.5 divided by 100? Yep. We want to know how much interest will be in her account after 20 years. So T is 20. Now, anytime N is 1, because remember we said annually, we said when it's annually we use 1. Whenever N is 1, then we can just use the same formula that we had in our bill work. We don't have to include the N value. So we're going to pick up our calculator. We're going to type in 4,800, 1 plus 0.045 to the power of 20. Go ahead and type that in. Make me stand in between y'all. That's okay. Babysit. So let's go ahead and type it in. All right, anybody want to volunteer what they got? Let me see what you write, what you get. Type it in. Did you type yours in yet?
It's not 11.
Yep. Oh, wait, no. Yep, that's right. 11,576, and then what's the numbers after the decimal?
Like me.
20.
18, 30, 22.
Yeah, 22, 23. Really, it's 23 because we can round that. All right, who had that answer? Okay, so now let's look at part B. Quarterly. So going back, what did we say? How many quarters are in a dollar? 4. So now that N equals 4, we have a different formula. Well, not the different formula, but we have to include this N value. So I'm going to write how you need to type it in the calculator, and you have to type it in exactly the way you see it written. So you're going to type in 4,800, 1 plus, then you're going to hit a fraction bar. And top, you're going to put 0.045. In the bottom, you have 4. And it's to the power of 4 times 20. So type it in just like that. Now your answer should still be close to 11,000, but it should be a little bit more. So type in 4,800, hit the parentheses, and then 1 plus, hit the fraction button. That's the fraction button right here. And then the top, put 0.045. Arrow down, 12, 4, yep, close it. Hit the exponent key, which is the little upside down V under pi. Up. Yeah. Keep on. Okay, now type in 4 times 20. Times 20. Oh, it's 0.045. So what did you get? Close the parentheses, hit this exponent button. Yep, and then hit 4 times 20. You put a decimal. It's multiplication. So you should have $11,746 and about 92 cents. Raise your hand if you had that. All right, so now let's go to part C. For part C, it says weekly. So what is my end value changing to? How many weeks are in a year? 52, yep. So pick it up again. 4,800. Parentheses, 1 plus, fraction bar, 0.045. Now it's over 52. 52 goes here. And the 52 is going to go here. And this is times. This is not a decimal point. 20. Go ahead and type that in. So you all have to practice typing it in with the calculator. And it should be 11,000. The first 2 numbers should be 11. If you didn't start with 11, you typed it in wrong somewhere. Raise your hand, me or Miss K can come and help you with your calculator. But it has to be exactly the way it's written on the screen. Yep. So hit the exponent key. Hold on. Hit this button. That makes it an exponent. Now type in 52 times 20. So we got $11,801. And what's the numbers after? 50 cents. Who had that? All right, part D. Now what did the end value change to? Monthly. So how many months are in a year? 12. Let's type it in again. So we have 4,800. Parentheses 1 plus, hit your fraction bar. And it's 0.045. Now n is 12. Close your parentheses to the power of 12 times 20. So type that in your calculator. Again, you should start off with 11,000 and some numbers. If you don't start off with 11,000, you type it in wrong. So yeah, so start off with 11,000. We shouldn't get up to $1 million. That'd be nice though. That would be nice. Good. Close it, hit this button. Yep. 12 times 20. There you go. So $11,786 and how many cents? 23, which rounds to 24, but 23 is also acceptable. All right, looking at parts A, B, C, and D, which one had the highest amount of money? Which one did we get the most with? C. Do you notice that C also had the highest end value? So the higher the end value, the more you get interest added, the higher your ending balance will be. All right, so let's go to the next page. Let's look at question 2. So question 2 says you got your first credit card after college. It has an interest rate of 22.62%. You max out the card by spending $1,200 and you make no payments for the first year. How much will you owe at the end of that year if the interest is compounded? So semi-annually means that N is 2. So we're going to type in our calculator. We have 1,200 parentheses 1 plus. Now remember, you always divide that rate by 100. So pick up your calculators. Take 22.62 and divide it by 100. That's your R value that you're going to use. So you're going to have 0.2262. Now it's over 2. And it's to the power of 2 times 1 because it's 1 year. And the only number that you're changing from B, C, and D is what you see highlighted. These are the only numbers that's changing. So go ahead and type it in. And I want you to work on all 4. Do A, B, C, and D. What you get, 1486. For the first one, you should get 1486, and then how many pennies?
Like 70.
Like 79, 78.
Yeah.
Who had that answer? Nobody? Yeah, that's right. 1486, yeah. So for part B, what is your new end value going to change to? If it's monthly, it's 12. Go ahead, type that in your calculators. Again, it should still be close to 14. 14, 15, 16. It should be less than 2,000. That's what I'll say. If you should still have a number less than 2,000. So the key is here. That is not an exponent. Okay, so what you have to do, you forgot to hit that. So what you can just go back up, hit enter, and then backtrack, take that out, and make it an exponent, and then put in 2 times 1. All right, now do the same thing for question B. So it's not $12, it's $1,200. So you should get $1,501. Who got 1501 for part B? Did you get 1501?
Yeah.
Did you get 1501? Still working on it? Yep. And then close the parentheses. And then you hit that button. Yep. There you go. 1501. How many pennies? 42, 43. Somewhere around there. We're not going to argue about a penny. So next. What's my end value for part C? It says weekly. How many weeks are in a year? N equals 52. So let's do it again, y'all. 1,200. 1 plus 0.2262. And now we're going to put our 52 here. And the 52 has to be an exponent. It has to be an exponent. Some of you all are not making it an exponent. To make it an exponent, you hit the button under pi. It looks like an upside down V. Go ahead, type that in. Button under pi. Yep. Nope, you forgot the button under pi. And now you got to put in that 52 times 1. That's important. So you got 1503. Who got 1503? And then how many pennies? 85. Who agrees with that answer? All right, 2 more and then we're done for today. So now we have quarterly. How many quarters are in the dollar?
4.
So N equals 4. Let's type it in again. So we have 1,200. 1 plus. See how nothing is changing except I'm only changing 2 places in the formula. Go ahead and type that in. So quarterly is 4. So whatever you get should be less than you have for part C. You hit that exponent key. So, yep, there you go. And now you hit enter. All right, $14.95. Who got $14.95? How many pennies? 35? What'd you say? 35? Oh, so it could be 34 or 35. Okay. That should be a 0. There we go. All right, last question. I want you to try to do it on your own. So we got Tamaya. Tamaya put in $4,000, so that's P, into an account that earns 6% and is compounded weekly, and we want to know how much money she'll have after 15 years. So I want you all to try to set it up on your own, and then I'm going to come around and check your answers shortly. To the power of 52 times 15. You got it. Okay, looks good. Not bad. I think y'all learned something today. Go ahead and check your answers. Make sure you agree. And then take out homework 2. We only have time to do one question. So go ahead, take out homework 2. Homework 2 is due tomorrow. But today is extra credit. So is there a question that you would like for me to do? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 through 10. Number 2. Well, I didn't hear you. The homework that we passed out yesterday. So the thing is up there, Juan. Anytime you're not here, you get the handout that's over there. All right, so which homework or which question would you like for me to do, if any? Number 11. So let's look at number 11. Oh, that's and then also if you weren't here yesterday, I did teach page 9, and that is posted for you to watch. So number 11 is 8 to the power of 4x plus 2 equals 64. How can you rewrite 64? 64 is 8 to what power? 2. So you can drop out the 8's. And that'll leave you with 4x plus 2 equals 2. Subtract 2 from both sides. 4x equals 0. Divide by 4. And you get x equals 0.